right, so if you are going to be doing the optional bow, you can go ahead and add those now, the little wrist bows, following the pattern instructions. If you are adding the optional frill though, we will actually go through that part together. So you'll want to grab all of your frill pieces. So there's 2 of them. And what you're going to do is attach them together with the right sides together. So I actually do have more than 2 because of the width of my fabric. But what you're gonna do is put the wrong sides together and attach them. I think the easiest way to do this is to serge these. If you don't have a serger, you'll want to French seam them. So if you're serging, you'll just put your wrong sides together and you'll go from there and just run up the seam. If you are not serging, if you are French seaming, then you will need to put your right sides together first, and then you will do that. So you'll make your French seam, you'll finish that out. So what you need to do is connect both of your short sides together so that you make one huge tube, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. So because I have more than 2 pieces, I actually have 3 pieces to make the length of the frill. I have a couple of things I need to serge together here. Okay, and then I've got a third end I need to connect. The reason that I did the 3 panels is because I did not have enough width in my fabric to do it with just 2 like what was recommended in the pattern instructions, but I wanted that full width of frill, so that's why I had to cut 3 panels instead of 2. And if that happens to you when you're cutting, you're welcome to do it the way I'm doing it. Okay, so let's go take care of business. We're over here at my serger because I just want to show you that I'll be serging these. And I do have my blade cutter turned on because I've got all this like fringy stuff that I want to get rid of. So I want to cut the fringe off on these 2 pieces and connect them all in one step. And that's what my serger can do. Okay, just keep going, doing what you're doing until you've connected all of the panels together and made one large panel. Okay, so we are going to do some basting now of the bottom portion of the dress. So what I find nice when you're doing a lot of basting for a lot of gathering is to pop out the bobbin thread and pop in a different color that stands out, that you'll be able to easily tell is different. So I'm just gonna pop in like this raspberry colored bobbin thread. Okay, for the gathers. Now, all of the pieces that we've just stitched together, we're going to now place rows of gathering stitches all the way around. Okay, so make sure you adjust your stitch length all the way out. It happens to be 5 on my machine, but to whatever the basting stitch length is for your machine. And then line your presser foot up with the edge of your fabric and start basting. We just need to keep basting until we have gone all the way around the circle and we meet the other side. So it's going to be a while, so just keep going. And then once you've done one circle of basting all the way around, you're going to do another line of basting stitches right next to the other line, so that you have 2 rows of basting stitches. Okay, so before we attach the ruffle to this skirt, what we want to do is mark the quarter points of the bottom of the skirt and the quarter points of the ruffle, which this ruffle is really long, so just do your best with marking the quarter points. But the easiest way, I think, to find the quarter points, start by using the center back seam. And you can just mark that. I'm just going to clip these tails. Okay, mark that with a clip. And then in the center front panel, find where the center point is. So that's right about there. Mark that. And then once we have those, we can easily pull the skirt open and find the quarter points. And those happen to be on the side seams. You can even out your skirt layers, like if you're noticing mine's uneven, you can even those out before you attach the ruffle if you want to. So set the dress aside and then grab the ruffle. You're gonna do the same thing. Find your quarter points and mark them. Once we've done that, we can pull our gathering stitches and we can go ahead and just gather the ruffle and clip it to the skirt with the right sides together. So if you've never gathered something, no worries. It's very simple. You just want to pull the bobbin threads, just like we did for the other, for the bodice pieces and everything. But this is a much larger scale, obviously. So you're gonna pull the 2 bobbin threads. I like to wrap them around my fingers. And then you're gonna shuffle the gathers around the ruffle evenly to distribute them. And then when they're marked, you're gonna mark them to the skirt and match them and then stitch them on to the skirt bottom. I really love making gathers. It's, I think it's quite therapeutic. Some people hate it. So just keep doing this though, till you've gathered the bottom ruffle completely. Okay, so I now have my ruffle all lined up perfectly along the bottom, which means that I am ready to start stitching, and all I need to do is stitch along this seam at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. You can also run this straight through your serger if you would like. And if you don't have a serger or any means to finish the two pieces, then what I'd recommend is you grab a piece of bias tape and you go all the way around the edge of the skirt and you stitch the bias tape on as a binding. The pattern instructions actually walk you through that process in the event that you don't have a serger. So you can go ahead and stitch it, and we are so close to being done with this pattern and this project. It's amazing. So go do that. Okay, so I've just finished stitching up the ruffle onto the bottom of my dress. So now I have this beautiful ruffle. The next thing that you want to do after you've finished the inside gathered seam is you'll want to hem your ruffle. So you can do this a couple of different ways. In the pattern instructions, we recommend doing a 1/4 inch fold and then another 1/4 inch fold, pressing it and stitching. But if you happen to have a serger, you can do something fun that I really like. Here, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. But it's a tiny rolled hem. So this is really nice if you don't love to iron and you feel a little bit lazy. You can set your serger settings to give you a tiny rolled hem, and that just gives a really nice finished edge that you don't have to press or anything. You can just go with it as is, and it nicely seals in any of the raw edges of your fabric, especially if you have something flowy like this wool dobby that I'm using. So go ahead and hem your skirt ruffle, or if you didn't do the ruffled option, you can just hem your dress with the 1/4 inch rolled hem option, and then you are almost done. So go ahead and take care of hemming it, and then we'll come back here and do the final step. Okay, we've come to the final part. Grab your buttons, and now all we have to do is just stitch our buttons on to our keyhole opening, and we're finished. So you just want to make sure your buttons fit through and that they are going to line up. This is where you want them to go on the back placket. You can mark it with your finger or your pen, and just sew your button, and then we're done. This was a long sew, but I am thankful that you guys stuck with me through it all, and I hope you have a beautiful summer maxi dress that you're proud of. It's a really beautiful pattern that is fun to make and easy to wear. People will be really amazed and impressed that you made it because it is more complex. Once you've secured your button enough, just tie it off and repeat and finish your other button. Thank you so much for tuning into this Summer Maxi Dress sew along. I hope you had a fun time. Please be sure to tag all of your makes on Instagram and Facebook with hashtag RP Summer Maxi, and we'd love to see what you made along with us. You can also join the sew along group on Facebook. It's just called RP Sew Alongs. So share your makes with us because we love to see them. Thank you so much.